Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? I hope you all are having an absolutely wonderful Saturday morning. I am so glad that you came in today. Let me get a couple things set up here. Kin of mine, thank you for being here. Stu, I already said hi to you, but thank you for being here, Stu. I really appreciate it. There are a
Kid of
couple
mine, thank you
things.
for being here, Stu. I already said hi to you, but thank you for being here, Stu. I really appreciate it.
What?
Kid of mine, thank you for being here, Stu. I already said hi to you, but thank you for.
Oh, let's turn that off. Okay, there we go. Tricky Ricky, hey, thank you for being here. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate that. So I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. I have enabled, hey, me, good morning. I have enabled a bot. And so we're going to see if it works. So I'm going to do, and we'll see if this works. I'm not sure. The bot should be open. It should be enabled. I don't think that I have to have it open for it to work. There we go. Okay, so I need to make, so that's already good. Okay, and then I need to add, we're going to check out a couple of these. So these are a couple of the new ones that I've added. So while we're going through this, there's a couple of things I want to show you. Okay, so we got Nightbot. So let's do, check out some of these commands and make sure that they're here. Trying to set this up to where you have a little bit more active and engaging chat opportunity. I've got to wait and see if this one's enabled. It may not be enabled. I know I need to set up the other side. Outstanding. Okay, cool. Now the other one's not showing up, so I need to see about. I may have to go through. I'm going to have to keep an eye on it and look and see if Streamlabs shows up. If they do, I've got to make them a moderator. I haven't done that yet. Set this up with Great Scott last night, so there's a good opportunity that. There's a good likelihood that it's not going to work today. I will play with it and continue to, but I'm going to try and continue to make improvements on the channel to benefit the folks in the stream. So, Brown Sugar, thank you for coming up. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you stopping in. Again, there should be a few basic commands. Space Miner, how are you, good sir? Thank you for letting me know where you're from. That is something I really appreciate. I want to do like a couple additional commands for shout outs, right? Like, where are you at? Where are you coming from? That kind of thing, so that I can kind of track where people are. So if I'm ever in that area, I know kind of who to let know that I'm going to be traveling to that area. For instance, who are all the folks that live up in Tulsa? Because we have the Tulsa Coin Show coming up here in just a few days, less than a week away. I'm so excited about this. Going to be able to meet some amazing people. Stu Metal Detecting UK, outstanding. I'm glad you're here. My brother across the pond. So thank you very much for being here. See, this is one thing that I love about being able to stream and do YouTube and things like that is the likelihood of me ever meeting Stu outside of this would be basically none. Kin of mine, Tennessee. I'm located in Texas. So looking at Donna S., thank you for coming in. I just realized that I'm on top chat. Let me resolve that. Get over here to live chat, see if I'm missing people. All right. So let's see if that's better. Hopefully I can see things. I still don't see the other commands Hopefully they start to show up here in just a few moments, and I can get some games going. So we're going to be enacting things like Hangman, Ice Lots, um, the 8 ball, the Magic 8 balls. So there's going to be a couple of those that are going to be engaged here in a little while. I've got to finish getting that set up. We got 14 fabulous people in the room right now. There's only 8 likes. Please make sure you're smashing that thumbs up for me. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to continue to say hi to people as they come in, but I want to welcome you. This is the 3rd version, episode 3 of Frosty's Numismatic Nexus. Now, the reason that I've chose that particular name is because a nexus is where things come together. It's a merging and a joining point to talk about things. Now, I thought about calling it the Collectibles Nexus, but that just doesn't make sense. It just didn't have a good ring to it. And where I'm more numismatic than stacker, a lot of the information is going to be the history of the coins or even the bullion, right? I'm going to be talking about bullion, but there's going to be some collectible items as well. And again, it's going to be where all these aspects of the community merge into one central place. And we're going to be talking about a wide variety of things over the course of the days to come. So I'm going to check and see if this works. Oops, I have to spell it right. And then check out a couple of these commands, see if they show up. Yes, sweet. Okay, so you want to get my address, type in shipping. If you want to get payment or tip information, type in exclamation point tip. This is awesome. So again, great Scott. A huge shout out for, we talked for probably 2.5 hours and he walked me through getting some things set up. So we'll get the list of commands out there. We'll do that, but this is really cool. I'm really glad that things come up. So Tricky Rick, we collect coins, Freedom Egg, launchers, and comics. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So in this community, we have card collectors, we have comic collectors, we have the people who are the detectors, right? They go out with the metal detectors and have the metal detecting crew. We have the scavengers and the resellers, right? The ones that searching for copper or pulling computer parts apart for the silver content or things of that nature. We've got numismatic folks in here. We've got stackers in here. We've got collectors and traders. We've got people who actually own box stores that are coming into the stream. So I really want to make sure we kind of round about everybody. But again, it will be focused on the history of things, looking at the details behind why they chose something or why they're doing something. Needed a drink real quick. And kind of talking about that. Mr. Happy Chappy, thanks for coming up, brother. I appreciate you being here sincerely. So today might be a little clunky for me. I've tried to figure out the best way to do this. I've got a bunch of photos as I start to talk about some things. Chappy, I know he's here for one reason outside of to support me, and that's because we're going to be talking about his favorite mint. He actually loves the stuff that's coming out of here. And so the reason that we're going to be talking about this particular mint today is simply because it was requested. Somebody sent me an email and said, hey, I'm from Auckland and I want you to let me know if you can do anything from this particular area. And I was like, absolutely. This is my first request. Bingo, Chappy, gotcha. Yeah, that's exactly right. We're going to be talking about the Perth Mint today. We're going to go over a couple items. But anyway, the reason that we're talking about this today is because somebody said, Frosty, can we talk about this? Can you talk? There's a couple of things that I'd like to know about. Do you want to go over the history, or can you clear up some items regarding situations within the Perth Mint? And I was like, absolutely. So if there are things that you want to hear, send me an email. And again, you want to send me an email, type in $email. So me, if I can have you do me a favor, if I can have you do $email as well. What I've got going on here and what we've done is we've set it up to where if you do the $email, or if you do $shipping, or if you do $tip, the information should tag you so that you know that it's coming to you. So if you put that in, it's going to be there. It's going to be $, not or not $, exclamation point. Yeah, I'm a retard. Exclamation point email. Let's try this again. And then what should happen is it should tag you and then give you the information. That way, if the stream is flying through, then you'll be able to see this, because much like I see on my end, you'll see that it actually tags your name. So like Stu just entered this information in, his should show up orange, and you're like, oh, okay, so that's for me because I requested that information. So if you're looking for the tip, if you're looking for the shipping, you're looking for the email, things of that nature, then you should get notification of that when it comes across. Joe Mama, thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming in. Shift Kicker, thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. Part of the Lady Stackers, you got to go check them out. Hashtag Lady Stackers. I don't have that set up yet, but I'm going to be making sure that there's something in there. But go check out that group. Really supporting female numismatics, female stacking, and just really building a good, solid community there. They're doing a ton of stuff. They've got a wallet and stuff that they're going to be doing come alongside St. Jude. Now, we all know that St. Jude and the Wounded Warriors are two fundamental tenets that we believe in this community. And so, go check them out, go follow that, look at the different folks within that stream, and go pay them a heads up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dig in, and you can see here on my desktop, I've got a wide variety of coins. Now, there's just a little bit of bullion here. So, I mean, we've got ASCs, we've got Angle Hards, we've got New, we've got Cook Islands, we've got Germanias and Cougarans, we've got Libertads. So we've got a bunch of different mints here. But again, the reason that I have this one over here, you see the Perth Mint, Australia coming up, is because of the request. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history real quick of Perth Mint. And I want to talk to you kind of give you a timeline, because a lot of people don't realize that the Perth Mint is over 100 years old. Now, I'm going to show a couple items. This is where it might get a little clunky as I'm talking through some of these things, because I'm going to be changing and shifting the presentation a little bit. I've got to figure out a better way to do this. I think I have an idea that might prove a little bit more beneficial. But today it's going to be a little bit clunky, so kind of bear with me. And as I'm going through this, I'm not going to be following chats. I'm going to really focus on my moderators to engage people. If you come in while I'm talking about this and reviewing this, forgive me for not acknowledging you. I just want to make sure that I'm paying attention to the information that I've written down and looked at, to make sure that I'm providing you the best quality information. All right, so the first thing I want to do is talk about the establishment of the mint. Now, the mint was created in the late 1800s after the Western Australian gold rush. And as they found these vast amounts of gold within the area, there was definitely a need to put them into a more utilizable form, something that was easier to manage. You carry gold nuggets around and stuff like that, and then people would judge it by weight. But they wanted to do something that represented their area, their region. So what they did is they reached out to the Royal Mint and said, we would like to establish a mint here in Perth. We would like you to become behind us. We're a sovereign nation. We would like you to come behind us and join us in this particular item. Would you be willing to do that? And the premier, the first person to do that, his name was Sir John Forrest, also known as Big John. So Big John petitioned the Royal Mint in 1889, or excuse me, 1896. And then about a year, 9 months or so into it, then they would approve it. And then the first foundation stone would be laid. Now, the designer of the first mint really put some stuff together and created this nice first state's heritage register in order to create the first coin. And so they were able to put it in. Now, in 1899, after the mint was built, they struck their first coin. Now, their first coin is the one that I have here on the screen, and that were the sovereigns. Now, this particular one is an 1899 sovereign. There were about 106 million gold sovereigns created, and there were about 735,000 half sovereigns that were utilized throughout the 1899 and 1931. This particular one just happens to be a specimen from 1899. And in 1931, they stopped the use of the gold standard. Now, for those of us here in the United States, or those of us in Britain or England or UK, you know that it was pretty much around the same general time frame that nations started dropping the gold standard and started to go towards the fiat currencies, and forever changing, kind of the way that stacking and things of that nature would be done. But when they went to that, they started to go to what we now know as the kind of like the fractional or the cents. Now, this next one is going to be the pennies. Now, they started doing the pennies in 1940, and there was a war going on, right? We were in World War II. And they needed a way for coinage. They needed a way to ensure that they could do that. So they started in 1940. They started issuing cents in copper. And here is a good example of that. Now, I'm going to try and see if I can zoom in a little. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So a really nice example of a 1961 Australian cent. We got the iconic image there of the kangaroo. Which, again, when you look at currencies or when you look at money across the globe, they're going to focus on a couple things. They're going to focus either on maybe a deity. They're going to focus on their version of liberty. So when you talk about the German mint, you're going to be looking at, you're going to be looking at, sorry, not the German mint, but you're going to be looking at, where did it go? Where's my ASC? What the heck? Where'd my ASC go? We'll just do this one. So you have, for the Mexico, you have the Libertad. You have the Cougarand. So you got John Cougarand there. So they started to either put iconic symbols. The Cougarand would be the animal there. So they would start to put iconic symbols and stuff up. And obviously, Australia was known for the kangaroo. Now, I'll put this back over here and just leave this on Australia so we know what we're talking about, the Perth Mint. But there were, and again, I've got this beautiful 2-ounce kangaroo. Their quality is just amazing. So, but in 1940 to 1964, they had the effigy of King George and Queen Elizabeth II. So if you're looking at that, it matches closely with the Canadian mints or the Royal Mints obverse. but again, you would notice the differences between the reverse. So the Canadian would have the maple leaf, and then the Australian one would have the kangaroo. So it was definitely done by regional. Now, what started happening next would be where the mint would start moving into bullion. This is where they would start looking at creating and generating gold and gold bars and gold nuggets. And so in 1957, they started their smelting, the refinery process. And under the refinery officer of Leo Hickey and the primary craftsman, Alexander Osborne, they would create the first proof plate of gold. Now, the reason that this was such a big deal is because they went out almost 6 nines. So Australia right now is known for the purest gold on the market. They actually have the largest purest gold item. They hold the world record for that particular item, and we'll get to that in just a few moments. But ever since they started getting into this particular item, they have focused on their quality and their purity. Now, this is going to come into play again here in just a few moments, where we're going to be talking about the recent scandal that happened February, March timeframe, talking a little bit about the investigation and what the outcome of that was. But the Perth Mint was really put into question. They were really challenged for a while. So I'm going to kind of talk about that here in just a few moments as well. Now, from there, they went to a decimal system. Now, so they moved away from the normal coinage, and they went to what they call the decimal currency system. And this was where they went to the 1 cent coin, the 2 cent coins. They didn't do the halves. And all this was started in 1973. Now, in 1970, this was a pivotal year for the Australian or the Perth Mint. And the reason that this was so pivotal is that you would find something significant that occurred in 1970 that really bolstered the Perth Mint as a factor and as a force. And that is that the ownership was transferred from the Royal Mint to the Western Australian government. Now, that happened on July 1st of 1970. And Miss Going Crew, I was minted in 1973 too. In July 1st of 1970, the Perth Mint was transferred to the government of Western Australia. And it took a few years. There were some things that they needed to sort through and things they needed to identify. And it came just a few years prior to the start of a brand new gold boom. And you would see gold come across with a vengeance. Now, many of you are familiar with this, but you may not know that you're familiar with the gold boom that they're talking about. So, a little trivia question. What 1980s movie, and I'm going to give away, let's see, what am I going to give away? Let's give away a 2 gram thing of silver. Let's do that. Okay. Who can tell me what film blew up the gold market and really utilized this second gold rush as a primary storyline within their movie? Anybody can come up with that? I'm going to have, nope. Quickly Down Under, GoldenEye, Heist, Point Blank. There's a lot of good names here. Now, there's a lot of different movies, and a lot of people are going to argue this. The one that I'm thinking of, the one that I've kind of looked at that really talked about the increase of gold, where the primary gold, like it was, I want to try and give you a clue without giving you too many clues. Too late, Roxzilla. We're talking about a 1980s film, 80s, early 90s. The film was a hit. Man, I don't know. Here, you know what? I'll give you a clue. Can you guys see that? Or is it too washed out? It might be too washed out. Let me stack my silver up here and get this to where I can you guys see this? Here, let's do this. Does this give you guys a clue? No clue. All right. Well, I'll give it just a few more seconds. And again, if somebody has it, I'll look through the comments later. Of my mods do that as well. It's Blind. There. This is a Cougarand. Now I don't have the one that's in the movie simply because I don't own a coin that's worth about $2,200. Well, right now it'd be worth about $1,900. So it would be gold. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'll come back to that here in just a few moments, and we'll see if anybody does that. I'm going to. I'll call that out here in just a second. I kind of squirreled myself on that. I wasn't planning on doing that. It was kind of impromptu. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully somebody can come up with that. I'll go back through and see if that happens. That's a good movie, Miss Coin Crew. Actually, it's a really good coin. Good choice. Papa Giorgio. That is the movie that I was thinking about. Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon was talking about the trade and the smuggling of the gold Cougarand. Really talked about how the boom at that point, it was like $800 an ounce or something like that back in that day, which was unheard of at that point. It had reached all-time highs and really flipped the market. It actually sent gold soaring shortly thereafter that movie. Now, there's other movies that had kind of done that, but Papa Giorgio wins. Papa Giorgio, hit the hashtag email, get my information, send me an email, and I will send you off that. Okay. So anyway, after 1970, when it turned over to the Western Australian government, they begin to establish the Gold Corporation, and they start doing and launching their official bullion program. Now, this was pivotal for it's dollar sign, or it's a exclamation point. Man, why do I keep saying the wrong command? Exclamation point email. People, keep me on track. You guys know which ones to use. You see it in all the other streams. So keep me clear. Make sure you're keeping me straight. But anyway, in 1987, they created the Gold Corporation Act, and this was to kind of take over the ownership or the operations of the Perth Mint and launch their official bullion program. Now, this was extremely important. The Prime Minister at the time, Bob Hawke, said that this first year's trading yield, which was about 155,000 ounces of gold, was well above anything that they had done and well above any forecasts that they had planned. And what they would find is that their bullion sales from this particular merger, this historical event, would actually cause them to gain much more revenue than they had ever anticipated. Now, they continued to pride themselves on their quality. And in 1990, they opened a new refinery, which was closer to the Perth airport. The other one had been on East Perth, and they had moved it to a new location And so they opened a new one to a new location. And because of that, they started working on improving their systems. And by improving their systems, I mean, they started looking at things like improving the quality of their um, minting process. So looking at things like, where did it go? Hopefully that's the right one. Again, this is pretty clunky, but looking at the new minting processes and looking at how we could improve the quality of the coins that were coming out of the Perth Mint. So they updated a whole bunch of their presses, went from the screw type presses to circle presses, um, and just started really updating and moving their mint forward. Now, in 2012, actually in 2010, there was a request sent through the leadership of the Perth Mint that said, we want to do something that is quite remarkable. And so they took a little bit over a year and tried to identify and work towards developing something that would stand in the history books. I mean, it was something that would stand forever. And so they started creating this particular item. Now, this particular item is quite amazing. And that is that it was in 2011, they cast the Australian kangaroo, but this was a 2,000 pound or 1 ton gold coin. Now, it was awarded in 2012 as the largest coin. I'm going to get over here and kind of zoom into that. And again, when you're talking about the quality of the Perth Mint, you can just see the details. Now, this thing is 2,000 pounds. I mean, can you imagine? I can't afford a 1 ounce gold coin. Could you imagine having something that weighed at 1,000 kilograms and measured 80 centimeters by 13 centimeters? It's remarkable. This is an amazing feat. But the other thing that was extremely cool about this particular item, about this particular venture, was that not only was it the biggest, it was also the most pure sample that had come out of Australia. It was at 4/9 fine. I mean, it was just absolutely pure. So again, I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about it. Now, there's a lot of advances that have made. There's the gold digital currencies that have come out. They've got trading platforms and things like that. They've got trade with other nations where they're balancing their transformation and they continue to build their economy. But it's this trade that they started in 2020 that would actually come to be a source of contention within the Perth Mint. And there would be some, early this year, there would be some scandal that would come out because they would be basically fake news, right? But what was happened is the Perth Mint was called out for doing gold doping. And what gold doping is it's basically taking a piece of gold and then blending in some extra metals. So claiming that it's 24 karat gold, but blending in some copper or some silver or whatever the other metals might be. And there was a local media channel that accused, they got some word that the Perth Mint had in fact duped the Chinese government out of a bunch of money because they were skimming gold off the top of the stuff that they were trading. Now, many of you, especially stackers, followed Salivate Metal, heard about this story, and he did a couple different segments about this. And there was an uproar. People were like, well, we're going to sell our stuff. Well, how do we check our stuff? And it caused quite a bunch of chaos. In fact, not only did it cause a bunch of chaos, it caused a distrust within the Perth Mint. And there are people, I mean, I've talked to people the last couple of days that have told me that there's still a kind of a disconcern or a frustration about utilizing the Perth Mint because of this particular item. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a little bit of due diligence and explain the rest of the story. A lot of people didn't follow up. Jedi Master Deb, thanks for being here. Miss Coin Crew, Ringmaster Ray, thanks for popping in. I know there's so many of you that I've missed. We've got 25 amazing people in here, so thank you so much for coming in and supporting the channel like you do. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. But in March, there was this huge media storm about how bad the Perth Mint was. And there was an investigation done. And one of the investigation components was the London Bullion Market Exchange, or also the LBMA. So I'm going to be talking about the LBMA. Just understand that when we talk about the LBMA, that's what I'm referring to. Now, they are a sovereign mint, the Perth Mint, and they wanted to do basically a kind of secondhand or tertiary investigation. They weren't questioning the mint, but they wanted to do their due diligence and look and see what was going on. Snoopy, thank you for being here. Appreciate you coming in. I just threw the Lady Stackers stuff, so please go ahead and make sure you're tagging the Lady Stackers, hashtag Lady Stackers, let people know that's going on. But again, when you're looking at this particular item, they wanted to, they never challenged the Perth Mint. Okay, the LBMA never challenged the Perth Mint, but what they wanted to do is they wanted to do an investigation. They wanted to look at their practices, and they wanted to find out kind of what was going on with the situation, the accusations. And I'm going to say accusations for a reason. So they looked at their years between 1918 and 1921, and they wanted to look at the trades that had happened and these allegations where they basically Shanghai, right? And so they began this investigation, and the investigation started out to be a month long, ended up being 3 months long. And they looked at the various information that was sent. They looked at the records. They actually checked. They went to Shanghai, checked some of the gold. They did assay tests and things of that nature. And after their investigation, they did not find any instances of zero tolerance non-confirmation of the sovereign mint, which meant that the allegations that were pushed against the mint were untrue. Now, it had already, some of the damage had already been done. There were articles about they were going to sue them for billions of dollars, that they may have to recall all this gold, and the damage has already been done. Once you start to question the quality or the efficacy or the ethics of a country or a nation or a program, it's hard to gain that trust back, even if you've gotten good news. So what the Perth Mint did with the LBMA is acknowledge that while quality was never an issue, and I want to clarify that, quality has never been an issue with the Perth Mint. They were founded on it. They have, ever since the beginning, had some of the most pure items coming out of the Perth Mint. But what they did find is that there were incident reviews and processes that they needed to fix. And over the 3-year period, there were some practices internally that needed to be adjusted. Now, it didn't relate to the quality of the product, right? It didn't relate to the purity of the product, but it did relate to how they did some of the businesses. Now, one of the things that they did find is that in 2021, there was an SGE compliance issue that they were SGE non-compliant bars. And they said that, they had done their investigation, they had looked through, they had laid out a plan to investigate and identify these informations, and they embarked on trying to find out why a couple of things have happened. Now, because of that, it fueled the fire once again. And people were like, look, they just admitted to having second rate information. And it really isn't the fact that they had second rate information, it's that they had changed their processes. Now, I talked to you earlier about the fact that they had changed and moved from East Perth to the New Mint. There were some refining processes that had changed. And as they were doing their various improvement and they were doing their various items, there are a lot of potential. Let's just say that there's potential for things to go wrong. It doesn't matter what business you're in. There's always the potential for error. There's always the potential for issue. But what I want to kind of wrap up the discussion with is the fact that mistakes were made in certain instances. And yes, they had a couple SGE bars that may have been out of compliance. But the news that you heard back in February, March about the Perth Mint cheating the Chinese government, it's I hate to use this term because this term drives me nuts. It's been utilized too much and it's been utilized incorrectly, but it's quote unquote fake news. It's not the whole story. So what I want to do, Mickey Fur, thank you for being here. Mickey, I also want to thank you for all of your support on for supporting Chuck Copper Coins during his time out. I want to publicly say thank you for all the stuff that you've been doing there. So thank you to Mickey. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of wrap up the Perth Mint discussion. We're about a half hour left in this stream, 40 minutes left in this stream, and I want to kind of move to my next topic. But I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that you enjoyed the history of the Perth Mint. Now, again, there's going to be there's other mints. So we got the Cougarand, we've got the Britannia, we got the Germania, we've got Intaglio, we've got Mexico, we've got UK, we've got so many different mints and so many different items to look at that I'm not going to be starving for content for a while. But what I want you to do is if there's something that interests you, send me an email. Let me know. Let me know that there's something that you want to engage in. Let me know that there's some topic that you're interested in hearing about, or you want to know the history of something. For those of you that have been following my ships on coins, and I've got a few of them here. We talked about the Cook Islands, right? So we've talked about, the HMS Bounty and some of those coins. We've talked about the Constitution, right? So we've talked about some of the other ones. We talk about the history of the coin. We talk about where it came from. We talk about the history of the ship. We talk about things like, why do they utilize the particular warrior in these 2-ounce rounds? Why did they use that particular one in the warrior series? Why was Julius Caesar, who was the Roman emperor, why did they utilize him? Was he actually a real big combatant? Why did they utilize him? And these are the things that I want to talk about and share, but I need to know what interests you. So please let me know. Is there a Battleship Texas round? Let me find out. I'm sure somebody in chat may know, but if there is, then that would be awesome. Eric, thank you for being here. Appreciate you coming in. Again, you'll be seeing a call out video here in a little while. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. Okay. See this? 1956 1DO 37. You know where that came from? How about this one? 1939S 1MM005. You know where this came from? I'll give you a clue. Copper coins. Okay, so you'll be seeing something on a video here in a little while. But again, thank you guys for coming in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get to the next phase of my discussion. And this is totally different. We're not even going to be talking about coins. But what I want to do is I'm going to throw the invite up. And what I would like you to do is if you're a moderator on a channel, if you are, okay, it's in chat. If you're a moderator, it doesn't matter who you're a moderator for. I'm looking through here, kind of look at against an army of shadows. I would love it if you would come up on panel. Kin of mine, I'd love it. Ringmaster Ray, if you could come up, I'd love to have the discussion with you as well. I'm going to call out a few of them that I know. Again, I'm trying to look through chat. I have not been following chat, so I apologize. Cap511, thank you for being here. I already said hi to Jedi Master Deb. Brother Rat, thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming up. I hope you enjoyed this discussion. Let's see, who else? Mike Slice, thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here today. I already said hi to me. Mike says, thank you for being here. Rockzilla, I said hi to you. Let's see. Chappie, where's all my other mods? Shift Kicker, you can come up. You're a mod on channels. Anyway, so what I want to do is if I can get a couple of the mods to come up on stream, what I want to do is I want to talk about, and this is something else that's been a request that was, it was kind of taken more of a discussion point with me individually as I've been setting up my channel. And the question was, looks like you need more mods. Yes, that is probably the truth. I've got a few of them, but some of them are probably still in bed because it is morning, and you know, some of them have families and kids ball games and things like that. So I know a couple of them wouldn't be here. But the question was posed to me, Frosty, what does it mean to be a mod? What does moderation consist of? What is the requirement for being a mod? And Miss Coinker, if you want to come up, I would love it if you could come up and chat for a few moments. I know that obviously you guys have one or two, right? I mean, you guys have some really good mods. I wish Freaking Awesome was here. I would love. Amanda. Hey, Amanda, I sent you guys an email this morning I'd like you to look at, by the way. I know you get thousands and thousands of emails, but I think you guys will really dig this. So, Angel, good day.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right.
I need to figure out why I've got this feedback. Hold on.
Yeah, that's weird. Ah.
Yeah, I got to figure out why there's feedback going on.
Yeah, that's weird. Ah.
Yeah, see. Where the heck is it coming from? I'm going to close. Let's do this. Nope, nope, I don't want to do that. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close. Why in the world are we getting this feedback?
Is your YouTube open?
Sorry, folks. I apologize for the technical difficulties.
Let's see.
Hold on. Sorry, folks. I apologize. There we go. Yeah, somehow another window opened up somewhere else. There we go. Okay, much better. Tell Keith that I remembered not to close my analytics this time. Ringmaster Ray.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Whoa!
Appreciate you coming on in. So, but the question, and you guys, I'd like you to talk about this as well. You guys have your channels, you guys have your moderators. Many of the moderators are kind of the same in our channels. But the question was posed to me, what does it mean to be a mod? And it was like, man, that is such a tricky question because it really depends on the channel
Yeah.
and what your role is. So I'm going to start with Miss Coin Crew, ladies first. When you guys do your auctions, I know you guys got probably 15 mods, maybe more, but you utilize like 4 or 5 of them for specific functions and tasks. How do you assign those tasks? How do you assign that role to people?
Well, basically, you know, people come in and people are helpful. So yeah, we have like different tasks, like JJ and Against the Army is like our main mods. Against the Army literally calls us and be like, hey, you missed this person, you're screwing up. And then we have like a mod that's like a Nazi on our spreadsheet. Then we have like hype mods, people that like hype up the chat, and then just like people that like give people information that we probably don't have access to at the moment. So yeah, each mod that we make on our channel has like a different roles, and then you have to have several of them because you know they can't be there all the time.
Right.
So you know they need a break, so you got to have several that have like certain. Yeah.
Well, then you also have your protective mods too that, you know, keep an eye on the chat, make sure you can get no bots coming in and messing.
Yeah. Making sure people ain't being buttholes. Yeah.
So how do you decide who takes what role? And this is where I'm a mod on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
And my job is to like engage chat, right? It's to talk with people, look at things. You know, I try to do the sniper thing and try to monitor the bids and just validate that what the other mods are entering is correct. And if there's any issue, you know, put something in chat or, you know, approve a potentially bad comment or something of that nature. And I know I got my role because of being in your streams, being active, talking with you guys, letting you know that I wanted to be a part of the channel. What could I do to help move the channel, or what could I do? And you guys, I mean, obviously you guys reached out and grabbed me up early on in my YouTube existence. But what do you look for? What's the catalyst that helps you choose who can be a mod in your area?
Just like when I have time to like notice the chat, like I'll see different people like doing different things, and I'll be like, you know, this person's being really helpful. And most of the time, like I'll ask them if they'd like to have that position, because sometimes people just like, here's the wrench, and you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this, you know? And we do have like phone conversations with some of our main mods.
Big part of it is probably consistency, being in the stream and kind of your personal reputation, whether you're also a content provider, you know, and what you do for around the community. Besides just, you know, I think it's more about consistency, being in that room as much as possible too.
Yeah, like basically people, you know, have more, some people have more time than others.
Yep.
But I mean, I really appreciate my mods. Like sometimes it can be a real shit show and they like keep us in line.
Yeah, because it will get confusing. You're like,
that's why they physically call us sometimes.
We've all been on the stream. Yeah, we've all been on the stream when you guys are doing your auction and the phone will go off. It happened on Sunday with the purchase of a coin. right? Hey, whoa, hold on. Frosty got that, right? And it's like, oh, sorry, John. We missed
Yeah.
that. Thanks, Mod. We appreciate you, right?
Yeah.
And so I know that happens. What I think the premise that I wanted to get to, and you both have said this, is it's going to be your relationship with the mod, right? Hey, Ben Stacking, thanks for being here. Mods, no, yeah, well, but mods have a certain role, and the one thing that mods need to understand when they're in a channel is that you may be given that responsibility. You may have been given some level of authority. Now, in certain channels, like if you go to IDAS, everybody gets a wrench. And
Mm-hmm.
it's expected that you're going to be gracious and you're going to be kind and you're not going to be doing anything kind of out of what people would know. And so, but when you're in a position, so for instance, if I'm in Ringmaster Ray, and I don't think I'm a mod in your channel, but if I was a mod in his channel, and somebody was being abrupt, and then they go from being abrupt to ignorant or rude, it would not be my place to ban them. It would be my place maybe to time them out and then call Ray and say, hey, what do you want to do in this situation?
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't ban people, but time them out, delete their messages, and then like the channel person can make their decision. But yeah, Keith had a really hard time. Like he always had to look, what did they delete? What did they do? And I'm like, dude, you made them a mod for a reason. Trust their judgment.
Yep.
Yeah, but again, don't overstep your bounds.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's important if somebody gives you a wrench. Now, I'm not talking about going to the channels where everybody gets a wrench, but I'm talking about when you are given an area of responsibility, or for my military folks, your AOR. If you're given an area of responsibility, you want to make sure that you're not overstepping that. And that means you have to have discussions with the person that you're going to be modding for. That means having those meetings. That means having those discussions. If you're a mod and you never attend those discussions, you're really not on board with the mission or the vision of that particular channel. And it's important that you understand. Now, I will tell you that if Coin Crew said, I want to move in this direction, if I didn't feel it was good or I felt it would be detrimental, if I felt that it would isolate somebody, I would have a kind of like a responsibility to speak up and say, have you considered this? Because he's appointed me a position in the channel. She's appointed me a position in the channel. And I want to grow that channel. I want to support and be there for that channel. So thanks, Chappie. Make sure you put a package in the mail for me. So it's exclamation point shipping. Make sure you get my address right. LOL.
I'm just bringing yours to the show.
That's the best way to do it. Yeah, if you're going to the show, just bring it with me.
So.
Or bring it with you.
Yeah, we're hand delivering quite a few things too.
Yeah, it's the best way to go. So, but again, I kind of wanted to talk about that really briefly. We got 34 people in the chat right now. And you guys, just thank you for coming alongside. But again, as people ask me questions or as people feed me information, as people want to learn more and they send me stuff, I'm going to do my research and I'm going to see if I can give you information. So AZ Coins, thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. So again, feel free to send me an email, and just, tell me, hey, I'm interested in this, or, hey, I've seen your ships on coins. Have you considered this particular coin? If you have something that you want me to do a story on, send me a photo, send me the coin. I mean, I don't need people sending me stuff because it's, well, in order to do it, I have to have it in hand. If you're interested in it, I'll try to find it. I love being able to have the coins in hand to be able to show, because people like to see them, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to look at pictures, but people actually like to see the round or see the coin. So I'll do my best to get, I can't get all of them. I'm not made of money. I don't have that stuff. Me sends me stuff. Me sends my stuff. Yeah, he sent me quite a few things and has sent me actually probably 50% of the videos that I made have come from stuff that me has sent me. Me has sent my. I keep see. I'm even saying that wrong.
That's the reason why we need someone named you.
Yeah, and so you know what I need though? I need one person to do me a favor. I need somebody to change their name to you.
Yep.
Because there's me, my, and you. Now we just need an I.
Yep.
And then we'll have an Abbott and Costello every day that we stream.
Yep.
But if you're really interested in doing that, then yeah, tiger stacking, it does get confusing, but that's part of the premise of it. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's very fun. We love it.
Hi,
Yeah, it's great
Defoe.
when they say send it to me. No, wait. At me, not me.
Not me. Not me. Me.
Exactly. Who's on first?
The other
exactly.
me.
That is probably one of the best names on YouTube.
I really enjoy it. Now, if you go look at his channel name, the channel name is Look at What I Do Here. So if you're looking for at me, you got to actually know the channel name. So do me a favor, throw your channel name in there so people actually, if they want to sub to you or whatnot, they know where to go. So the next question.
Hi, Tiger.
Are you two ready for it?
Oh no.
Our premieres are starting too. So,
You guys
Yeah, we
probably-
got to catch a train here in a second.
yep. Already.
But
Say
yeah.
again?
Oh, we got to catch a train here in a minute. But yeah, one last thing. What did you want to say?
Are you ready for Tulsa?
Oh,
yeah.
That was the last thing.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Dun, dun.
All right. So what train do we have to catch?
Oh, the Saturday premiere train.
Yep. Where we do our
All right,
15-minute segment videos, and they're one right after the other for the 2 hours.
All right. Well, let's throw that link in here.
It would be Will's. It would be Will's Treasures.
Yep.
I can't do
All
a
right,
link because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I'm grabbing it right now. Drop
No
that.
worries.
Love you guys.
Can one of my
Thanks for
moms
having
get
me.
over to Will's Treasures in chat? Thanks for coming up. Let's see you over at Will's Treasures.
Have a good one. Thank you.
You too. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. And again, this is going to, on Saturdays, it's going to be about an hour. I don't want to be streaming into the other ones, so I'll be cutting this off at about an hour. And then Sundays will be a little bit longer stream, and we'll be scrolling directly into Coin Cruise live stream.
There's the premiere train right there.
Outstanding. Okay, so I would like, there's 30 people in chat right now. I would like everybody to go over there and do Frostbite Raid. They started like right now, right?
Yep. He's already going.
Yep. So go ahead and click on that link. Fly over there, please. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate the love and support. Again, Ray, thanks for coming up. Angel, thank you for having been here. Go over there and again, Frostbite Raid. I appreciate you. Take care. Be blessed. Have a wonderful day and see you in the morning.